I'm excited. I'm excited to be here today, and I'm excited about our future. Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm a little bit obsessed with the future. I was the kid, if I had a time machine, I wouldn't be going back to visit the dinosaurs. I'd be going forward 100 or 1,000 years to figure out what technology they were using, what problems we'd solve, what planets we'd be living on. And I partially blame this obsession on two people. My grandfather used to take us on walks, and he would always recite the mileage it would take to get back and forth from the sun and the moon. He was always fascinated and curious how the world worked. He was born in 1917 and lived to be almost 100 years old. So as you can imagine, he got to see technology completely change the idea of what it meant to be human. He always had that curiosity. My father gave me my first set of science fiction books when I was young. It was the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov. I don't know if you've ever read any Isaac Asimov, but if you have, you'll know it's completely immersive. The ideas that he would have about future technologies and what it would mean to humanity was pretty incredible to think about. The curiosity that my father and my grandfather instilled in me drives me in everything I do today. I recently had an amazing trip to the ancient Parthenon of Greece. And as I was standing there, and I'm watching the columns reflect off of the marble, my dog started barking, and I was completely transported back to my living room. I took off my VR headset, and I realized it was still pretty cool, but, in that moment, I understood something different. Not the digital space that me and my friends created. We spend a lot of time in there already. It was the interactions I had with my friends, the avatars we were using, the chat system we were using. What did it mean to have a digital identity, and what does it mean in the era of the metaverse? What is the metaverse? We can call it a lot of different things. I'm a metaverse builder and a digital preservationist, and I promise I'm not making those things up so that they sound really good on a resume. My wife and I use current technologies like LiDAR, infrared, and drone technologies to digitally capture and scan historical locations and landscapes. Now, this can be for architecture, this can be for education, this can be for reconstruction. But what's most important is that it is digitally archived for future generations to decide how they will use it. Now, I have said metaverse a few times already, and I'm definitely going to say it more. It's probably one of my favorite words. What is it? Is it Facebook, now Meta? Is it some .com I go to? Is it VR? Is it AR? Well, when I think of the metaverse, I think of the world. And when I think of the world, I think of continents and countries and people and music and art and plants and animals and all the things that make it the world. And when I think of the metaverse, I think of all the millions of digital creators currently building their own versions of worlds. Anything they can imagine. A multiverse that is expanding, completely built on top of our own digitally. Another way to think of it is an upgrade to the internet. Now, we've seen a lot of upgrades. It started as an intranet, intercompany workings, moved to search engines. I bet a lot of people in this room didn't imagine that an online bookstore would be delivering their toothpaste and toilet paper via drone in less than an hour. I don't think we imagined that when it moved to cell phones, there would be applications to find love and put food at your doorstep right from your handheld device. But what is important to remember is that it hasn't gone here yet. When it moves from here to here through augmented reality and virtual reality, this upgrade will be in three-dimensional space. Every upgrade to the internet we have seen thus far is still very two-dimensional. Digital identity. You have Kohl's Cash. You have Starbucks. You have your Costco cards. You have your social media pages. You have emails. This is all part of your digital identity already. And it cannot be taken for granted. What you say in an email can affect you at your work. What you say online, as we see a lot from celebrities, can affect your entire life. It already matters so much that when it starts to move into three-dimensional space, I believe it will internally start to matter to us even more. When you are carrying your memories with you in three-dimensional space, your reputation, where you've been, where you've gone, what you like, where you shop, the avatar that represents you. Something to remember about digital identity is it is not a different version of yourself. It is an extension of self, potentially a version you want to express. What is the current state of the metaverse? We call them proto-metaverses. And I'm leaving that up on purpose. Has anyone heard the name Roblox? I'm sure you have, and I'm sure you've used the native currency, Robux, for gifts for friends or family or kids or grandchildren. Now, this is a burgeoning metaverse. IKEA has a store inside of Roblox with part-time employees that work there for customer service and shopping. Nike, inside of Fortnite, an ultra-realistic metaverse utilizing the same technology that I was talking about before, utilizing LiDAR, infrared, drone scans captured for realism inside. Now, this is incredible, right? These big companies, they have these metaverses, that's great. But what you're not understanding, or maybe you don't know yet, or maybe not everyone has heard, is that this is going to come to you. You will have personalized metaverses. What happens when creators have their own locations in three-dimensional space? What happens when Tom Brady creates a metaverse and he decides what currency is used inside? He decides what sponsors will be inside. He decides what video games are created. It's a pretty incredible thought. And it's a little scary. We have to touch on the monetary value. As they say, money talks. In 2021, in Decentraland, a parcel of land in their metaverse sold for $2.4 million. That is not the whole metaverse. That is a parcel of land inside the metaverse. A lot of experts estimate that the metaverse space by 2030 will be between $500 and $600 billion. I think, to be honest, that's a little conservative. Wow. Dun, dun, dun. It is scary. Any new technology or revolution or evolution is absolutely frightening. It's something new. It's changing the way we interact with each other. It's, by definition, changing what it is to be human. We have to think about these things. We have to talk about these things. What happens, we're already seeing since the invention of credit cards, fraud, bad actors, people going after what is rightfully yours. That can absolutely happen in three-dimensional space. What happens with digital inheritance over the next 50, 60 years? All the people that are playing what are these so-called video games right now and collecting these millions of dollars worth of assets, what happens in 50 years when they have to transfer that? Is there a safety protocol for that? Is there a company behind that? Not yet. But it allows us time to innovate. And I believe these problems will always allow for humans to innovate their way through. Now, one thing I didn't bring up, mental health. I myself love going outdoors. I love the national parks. I love Yosemite. And I am a metaverse builder. I have to separate time from how much time I spend in digital space and how much time I'm spending outdoors. I'm sure many people in this room have yelled at their children, "Get off the video game, it's time for dinner." These are all concerns, all major concerns, but we will innovate our way through. The future is bright. A few years ago, I met a young woman at a conference. Her name is Sarah. Now, Sarah is one of those people that just lights up a room, inspired me. I was more excited to talk to Sarah than I was to be at the conference. And when I spoke with Sarah, she explained to me that her digital identity already meant more to her than her physical identity. That was a few years ago. I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. She explained to me that she had made friends, that she had made a companion, that she had a blooming business selling avatars to other creators. What I didn't tell you is that Sarah was born with multiple physical disabilities that inhibited her from doing things in the physical world that she could do in the digital world. And this is just one use case to millions and millions of advancing opportunities inside of digital space. Again, IKEA was up there for a reason. That is not a marketing ploy or something to scoff at. I think it is innovation and appreciating where the future will be. And this is happening so fast. So fast. This isn't an Asimov novel where I'm theorizing something that's going to happen long after I'm gone. This is happening in seconds, minutes, days, and weeks. It is no longer years and decades. And with the integration of artificial intelligence and AGI, which we are on the cusp of, artificial general intelligence, all of these tasks will be seamless and so much faster than you can honestly understand. I cannot comprehend how fast it's happening. And that is the one thing, if you take away from today, is speed. The speed at which this is happening is so much faster than we have ever seen with any new, thriving technology to come into existence and change humanity. At the end of the day, the metaverse will be an upgrade. We will decide to spend our time there. Just like you can decide to use your cell phone, you can decide to play a video game, you can decide to buy virtual reality glasses. However, will it impact your life? The answer is absolutely yes. The world is changing. It is the future generations right behind us that will continue building off the foundations and the blocks that we lay now. We have to understand. We have to research this. We have to be a part of it. We have to contribute. We have to collaborate. We have to connect. We have to be creative. We have to be cautious. We have to be conscious. And above all, we have to be curious. Thank you so much.